with the far right hoping for a historic victory, but political stalemate is more likely. Parties across the political spectrum urged French voters to vote massively to tilt the outcome either way. As opinion polls forecast, the far right would be the largest party, but falls short of an absolute majority. Marine Le Pen's Eurosceptic anti-immigration national rally topped the parliamentary election's first round with a third of the vote, opening the prospect of the far right leading a French government for the first time since World War II. But after a subsequent series of tactical withdrawals of candidates from mainstream parties aimed at boosting whoever is best placed to beat the far right, several surveys have projected a drop in the number of seats the party could win, making an absolute majority even harder to achieve. Sunday's legislative elections in mainland France will be decisive, with parties fighting to steal votes from a strong far-right force. Voters in France's overseas territories and living abroad cast their ballots on Saturday in parliamentary runoff elections that in fact could hand an unprecedented victory to the nationalist far right. All right, to get us more on that, our correspondent, DD News correspondent Ross Cullen is joining us. Ross, now when we saw the first round of polling, not a very clear picture was emerging, though we know that Marine Le Pen's party was the front runner. But this being the second round, do we expect a decisive and a clear picture to emerge this time around?
Well, I don't know if there's a decisive picture that will emerge. We do know that polling is open, polling station here behind me. It's been underway for about half an hour now here in mainland France. As you mentioned, on Saturday, the overseas territories cast their votes, and for the timing reasons, those overseas territories in the Caribbean, which are several hours behind here in mainland France, do always cast their ballots on the Saturday. And New Caledonia and French Polynesia voting as well in terms of the overseas territories and islands. But we should get a picture around 8 p.m. this evening, local time here in Paris, of the likely landscape for the next 5 years.
All right, Ross, what are you picking up from the ground? What evaluation or estimates are you getting? Because there is doubt over Emmanuel Macron's party, Renaissance Party, giving a good run, good competition to Marine Le Pen's national rally. What fate does Renaissance Party hold for Macron?
Well, they did come third in terms of the first round voting, and we will see how that plays out after the second round today in terms of will there be a coalition, will there be a majority government, minority government. There has been a lot of manoeuvring during the week to try to ensure that there can be an anti-far right vote for those who want to vote against the national rally, with some candidates from some parties withdrawing deliberately to allow another rival candidate, but who happens also to be far right, to stand in that against the far right, to stand in that constituency. So we will get a turnout around 12 p.m. local time, and then another updated turnout figure around 5 p.m. Local time before the result at 8 p.m.
All right, Marine Le Pen's party is set to be the front runner, is set to emerge as the biggest party. Let me get more from you as to what are you picking up from the ground, as to what factors have led to this change of heart, change of stance in the French voters?
Well, they've been growing in size. They had 8 MPs in 2017. The National Rally increased their size to 89 MPs in the 2022 general election, and they're set to then be the biggest party in this most recent public national ballot. Immigration has been one of the key factors that's played into this political debate. The very short 3-week campaign has had a lot of discussion about immigration, cost of living. Perhaps there's a certain feeling of being left behind by globalization in certain communities. The farming protests, you might remember, in January and February that hit France,
yes,
Belgium and a couple of other European countries as well. The support for the agriculture sector has also played into this. We know that Jordan Bardella has been able able to present a picture of popularity among some of the agricultural workers. And so there are different factors that have played into this election in the lead up to it and also during the campaign.
All right, Ross, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those inputs. We'll try getting back to you again during the day to get more on how voting is progressing.